what are you doing? Where are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm just doing my thing. She's like, where are you? Where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm in this area with my friends, whatever, whatever. And she's like, oh, okay. I miss you. I'm like, oh, okay. I miss you too. She's like, okay, good night. Take care. Bye. And I was like, that's kind of weird, right? So what
Something
she was
felt off,
actually
okay?
doing, yeah, she was trying to just check which area I'm in because she wasn't at her homegirl's house. She was planning to go out to Hongdae, and she did go out to Hongdae because
Hongdae
later
is like
that
the
night I also
party
went to Hongdae.
district where it goes down,
Yeah,
like party
yeah, yeah,
central. Yeah.
yeah.
That
And I
street,
get to
Hongdae Street.
yeah.
Mm.
And I get to
Memories, eh?
Hongdae
Sorry, I'm having
and
flashbacks.
and there's this famous club that we all used to go to. I'm not gonna mention the
No,
name.
please tell me because now I need to hear that name one more time.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Is it that name that relates to royalty?
Oh no.
Let's have the alphabet.
It starts with an N.
Oh snap! That spot. Oh
Yeah,
snap!
yeah, yeah.
Oh man, that's hectic. I
So
don't think I ever went
yeah,
there much, eh?
it wasn't popping that much in
All right,
2011, but it
it didn't
really got
pop then.
crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
my
So
summer
so
there. That summer,
mm,
I saw things that I can't unsee.
bruh.
That summer was
Tell
that
me
summer
about it.
was a movie. That was the
Tell me
intro to
about it,
like a
bruh.
Fast and Furious movie. It was just the
Tell
music
me
is
about
still
it, bruh.
feeling in the street. It's like it was even difficult to blink. You might miss something. Just action, 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 action.
It feels like a once in a lifetime type thing.
I think it was,
Like
eh? Because
the
that moment was
the
lost, eh?
intensity of it.
Yeah.
Right. The
Hmm,
intensity of it. Yeah. So yeah, back
nice.
to the story. So
Okay.
so I go to the club,
Hmm.
and this girl that's saying, "Oh, I'm at my homegirl's house." She's right there in the club, wearing this tiny white dress, like hugging her body like super tight, big earrings, hair done,
Superhero
makeup
outfit.
done,
Hmm.
like high heels like this high,
Wow.
and it's like, oh, how do you go from your homegirl's house like to being like this dressed up in the club? Like she's on a mission, like she's on the hunt. Like that's what it is.
Those days were
And that
incredible
was
though, because it was also
mm,
there was so much learning. So I'm so sorry to interrupt, but like those days
no worries, yeah.
we learned there were certain terms that we were only kind of aware of that lead and
Mm,
our stories like when we lead up to the terms that we use today, that term being thirsty was the word people
yeah,
used to use, like, nah, don't be thirsty, don't be
yeah,
thirsty. And that used to
yeah.
be like the forefather to simping. Now we say now
Right.
he's straight up simping. But then being thirsty, and hey, I was thirsty, dehydrated. I was trying to drink. Rain trying to slurp that rainwater. Just please, I need something.
that's so true. Yeah, we weren't talking about simping back then. It was just
Being
thirsty,
thirsty.
too
And I
thirsty,
was
too thirsty.
I didn't know I didn't have the anti-thirst vaccine yet. I needed to get
Right.
I needed to get it. And I
Not
messed up, I'm not gonna
knowledge.
lie.
Knowledge is the vaccine. Knowledge and
I grew the
experience
beard
are
of
the
wisdom.
vaccine.
Now I know a little bit more.
Yeah,
And not
yeah.
to end up and to have the strength to walk away from a situation like that. Because some guys would just take
Exactly,
the abuse.
exactly,
And you'd see them, been in the
exactly.
country 10, 20 years,
Mm,
taking that
mm, mm,
abuse. And
mm.
you knew your worth. You're like, I've
I
studied
think,
and I've
yeah,
sharpened to get you. Yeah.
I think that the important thing was like seeing like that aspect of like
Yeah.
of how women can be, of how girls can be.
Nothing in life
Because
is
I guess
promised,
like
eh? You're just renting.
mm.
All this stuff can be
Like
taken away.
yeah, like we have a lot of subconscious ideals that
Mm.
we hold on to based on how we brought up, based on our previous experiences. But like at some point life might break those ideals and those
Yeah.
expectations, and that's actually very important.
Yeah.
Then you can have like a more balanced perspective. So that was really significant like for me
Big
too,
time.
like back then. And then those experiences like seeing girls like being shady, or seeing girls like
Completely
basic
playing you confidently,
mm,
confidently
mm.
in your face. Like, hey, what are you gonna do?
Mm,
So what are you gonna do?
mm.
I'm gonna do this. What are you gonna
Like
do?
seeing that, like that made me like kind of cold, and I went through a kind of like dark mode.
Oh
I was
wow.
just like savage, and I didn't care about anybody or anything. Mm,
And Club Phantom that time in Shinsa was its own. That's just the new arc of the story. We could even call that. You know how in an anime you have this arc. The Club
yeah,
Phantom was an arc.
Phantom was significant.
Now, Phantom is where a lot of the teachers went. It was like upmarket. It was a hip hop club in South Korea, and a lot of the military guys went there. And at that time, those guys were playing a very different game to the game I was playing. These guys were taking that alpha mentality, that roughneck mentality to the next level, bro. Next level.
The thing is, for them, it wasn't a game though. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's how they grew up, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them haven't even like finished undergrad and just straight from high school. They just get drafted into the military. They don't have that much like life experience, like diverse life experience. So,
Mm-hmm.
for lack of a better word, a lot of them are just really hood. Like
There was
it's
one.
just hood
There was,
vibes, bro.
there was one flashback I
Mm,
had. We were there. Your girlfriend at the time was there, and her cousin was
mm,
also there. So we're just there on the dance floor, and I'm just like chilling, vibing. I'm like, powering up. Steez, my
chilling.
steez is there. I got my fashion, whatever I was
Mm,
wearing at the time. And her cousin was there looking for a man, like not a
mm,
boy, not a young man, a man.
mhm,
So then she even pushed me away, like go dance, go. Pushes me, walk
mhm,
away. And now I
mhm,
realize that's not how you carry yourself as a man. You're just getting pushed around like that. That's when
mm,
instant L with that honey.
mm,
And there was another dude. He was probably 19, younger than me. Tall,
mm,
muscular, buff dude. Doesn't
mm,
even American dude, African American. Doesn't even speak the
mm,
language. He
mm,
grabs her by the arm. I was even like, bro, you're gonna get yourself deported. Guy was
mm,
on this I don't care tip, bruh. He pins
mm,
her against the wall, bruh.
mm,
And she's got this grin on her face saying, no, no,
mhm,
no, no, I don't want this.
mhm,
Man doesn't care, bruh. Tongue down the throat.
mhm,
I'm just like, oh, can
mhm,
this even happen? And then he gets her
mhm,
number and leaves with her. And I'm there like,
mm,
yeah? What is
mm, mm.
what is this technique this guy is using? Is it he went full,
That's
you
it's
know,
not even, but it's not unique. It's not even a mentality. For some people, it is, but it's just it's a way of being, bro. Like yeah,
it only clicked many years
it's not
later
a
that the honeys want
it's not
that,
a
bro.
yeah.
Or the honeys there at that point wanted that, bro. Ah.
Mm, mm, mm,
I'd never met such a
yeah,
roughneck steez. Ah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a truth though situation,
Sorry, could you repeat that? My connection is misbehaving.
but there's a universal truth in that type of situation. Like yeah, there's a lot of deep truth in there. Like yeah. Like
Yeah.
a lot of guys are brought up with these ideals like
Mm,
I'm gonna be respectful and gentle and straightforward and plain
yeah.
and very clear and logical, blah 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 blah. And it's like, nah man, just
Do
be a
your
man.
thing,
Take
bro.
what you
Good
want,
life.
do your thing.
Good life. End up in jail.
That's the thing. There's a lot of paradoxes
Yeah.
looking at things from a
Yeah.
guy's perspective. Like we can look at it logically this way, and girls can present their logic,
Mm,
and it goes this way. If we take both logics and try to put them together, there's gonna be like contradictory things. Like
mm,
one side is saying they want this, another side is saying they want this, but then what they actually want or what they're actually responding to is different. And like
mm.
yeah, there's a lot of paradoxes in it, but
But I've reached peace with that. Now I can laugh, like
yeah.
leading up to it. So let's do another time skip,
Mm-mm.
and we're going to skip to
Okay.
just let's say 2019. So
Mm-mm.
2017, 2018, 20 up to about 2019. Please tell me about the
2019,
context. Where
2019.
was your life headed? What were you doing?
2019, most of
But
2019
pre,
I
just
was
up to
in the
2019. So 2017,
oh, pre
2018,
2019. Okay.
just
17,
and including
18.
2019, but starting like leading up
Okay.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah. 17, 18, 19, those are some of the roughest years of my life.
For real.
Um yeah. I was finishing I did my masters and I was
Mm,
finishing my
mm,
PhD.
mm,
And then one day it hit me like, why am I doing this PhD?
mm,
I'm actually not that into all this studying stuff. Like it was just something comfortable that gave me a visa to stay in Korea that allowed me to keep dancing. That I enjoyed it to some degree, but it was more a means to an end. Like it was just letting me survive and letting me keep dancing, and the goal was still the same. I just wanted to go as far as I could go with my dancing. And then what happened in 2017? I had like a whole bunch of injuries. Like I had a wrist injury, but prior to that wrist injury, I was getting so strong, like top form. Like Flare 90, Flare 90,
Pop the
like
fluorescent light in your apartment.
yeah, one like one air flare I was happy with. I was throwing like two. The second one was really low, but I was getting to that second one. Yeah, I was just like I felt strong. Things were becoming
Putting out
easy.
some
Like
nice trailers. Nice trailers on Instagram.
with the tricking also, I was starting to throw like more and more.
And you were tricking
crazy
like
combos.
crazy, hey? It was
yeah,
party on Friday, breaking practice on Saturday, tricking practice on Sunday.
Yeah.
Injured on
It
Monday.
felt like it it felt like I was like on the cusp of like that level I've been chasing.
Breaking a plateau. Oh.
Yeah, and then I injured my wrist, and it was something silly. Like I just slipped, setting up for a touchdown raise, and it was like the TFCC, and that point of the wrist doesn't receive a lot of blood flow, so it's very, very, very difficult to heal. So that was one issue, and then the next issue, I was like studying and working too much, and it was becoming more and more obvious that this isn't what I want to be doing. That's second issue. Third issue,
entertainment biz.
I was like dating a lot, and I was in this mentality of like I'm a guy, and like every chance I have to like be dating, like I have to take it because I'm a guy. Like and that was actually like burning me out. Like I was just seeing people just to see people. It's like I really like reached a type of rock bottom. Like I was just done. Like yeah, my shoulder was also out the game, so I had 2 injuries. Yeah, it was a really tough time.
That's wild because previously that was the dream. Like break, train as hard as you can, gain as hard as you can, go as that was always like the goal.
Yeah. And then that time I also started getting a bit more into the entertainment business in South Korea, doing commercials, a bit of modeling here and there.
Full on show in Singapore.
Yeah. I even forgot about that. That was dope, but that wasn't like for me it was like a dope way to make money, and it was like a supporting thing. It wasn't like something I was like so crazy about. Like breaking was always like that deep passion.
In K-pop videos. Hey, making it happen.
all sorts, yeah. Wow. So 2018, I just put my head down and I was like, I'm gonna finish this PhD. Like even though like I almost quit. Like I like there was one day where I was like, okay, like
rage quit.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna live a dishonest life. Like I'm gonna live a life that's true to me. Like why should I waste my time? Like yeah, I mean we live and we learn. We learn to understand ourselves better and better as we experience more. And I was like, yeah, I don't have to do this, so I'm gonna quit. And then I thought about it, and I came to the decision that I'm gonna push through and I'm gonna finish it. So I just put my head down. I was on my grind, like research work every day, Saturdays, Sundays, research. We used to sleep in the research lab where we worked. We had like these folding beds, so we could you could live in the lab for like a week.
Wow.
And it's funny that sounds like a horrible experience, but it was actually like one of the good memories I had. Like the type of focus you have when you go deep into one thing, only one thing, one objective for like an extended period of time. There's something really special there.
Oh, wow.
And I'm kind of even tapping into that mentality when I'm working on music now. Like just continuously like keep putting in time onto one thing with little breaks for like other things. And it's almost like you assimilate and internalize that content on another level.
Oh my goodness.
Like it gets hardwired like into your brain or into your being.
Please tell me about the music and the food at that time, at that super low point.
What's that? Could you say that again?
Please tell me about the music and the food at
Yeah,
that point
yeah.
in your life? What were
Mm.
you eating? What were you listening to?
Was I listening to? I was listening to a lot of kind of gangster rap, but my taste in music has always been very diverse.
Mm,
A lot of the stuff from the LA beat scene, Shlomo, Flying Lotus, and then Clams Casino, Vince
that was Clams.
Staples, Joey
Yeah, Clams
Fats.
was everywhere.
Yeah,
Clams was a mentality. Yeah,
Clams,
low
Clams
end
to go,
theory,
Clams to
going
go.
back into it. Mm,
Mm-mm.
wow,
Mm.
wow.
And then I started making music also during my PhD. When I got injured, like there was a
Mm,
time when I felt like the injuries were really bad,
mm.
and I just had to be doing something creative. And I started making music that time. Food wise, I was drinking a lot of coffee, bro. Like so much coffee every day, and a lot of unhealthy stuff, bro. Like
Oh
bread,
snap.
chocolate. I improved on it later, but for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, like my early 20s, I was just eating bread and chocolate, bro.
Oh snap.
Like it's
Wow,
so bad.
wow, wow, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
On my side, that time, so
Mm.
after the corporate thing, pushed on,
Mm-mm.
made it into Japan somehow, some way.
Mm.
Living in Japan, eating the Japanese diet now, and I was expecting it to be like
Mm.
the South Korean diet, and it's completely,
Mm.
completely different.
Mm.
Smaller portions, portion control. Man is losing weight. Man is getting skinny,
Mm-hmm.
cycling back and
That
forth.
that's
But
good though. Those small portions.
yeah, it really made
Did,
me
did
a
you did you
yeah.
feel did you feel hungry at first? Like,
Oh, it hits you so hard, eh? You're always lightheaded, stomach is
oh wow,
growling. You pay
oh
a
wow.
lot of money for a meal and they bring you this tiny, tiny thing and then you eat it and you're still hungry. So that
You
thing of
get
not
used to
feeling
it, or you just
satiated,
yeah, you get used to it though. Like your baseline changes.
you change the things you're eating and you sort of find ways to deal with it. You learn when to snack.
Okay.
You learn when to just go to sleep. You learn how
Yeah,
to
yeah.
distract yourself.
Oh wow.
Um,
Yeah.
so it was tough in the
Yeah, that
beginning.
sounds tough.
Like that, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, that was tough. But at that
Mm.
point, I'd been through so much in the corporate world. Like studying was
Mm.
no problem. Like,
Mm. Mm.
oh, no complaints. I'll do it. It's
Mm.
fine. Studying Japanese, no problem. It's fine.
Mm.
I was just happy to be alive.
Right, right, right.
So I was doing that. I was working on myself,
Uh,
studying more types of philosophy, trying to understand people a bit better, going deep
yeah.
into my photography and videography. Like I was like,
Like if you have to point out like maybe two or three like major inspirations or people that stuck out to you in your mind, like that inspired you over those years in mentality, in lifestyle, in what they were doing, whatever. Do any
hmm.
people come to mind or?
I mean, it'll sound super corny, but your story in
Mm,
particular, which is even why I was like, oh, like we really need to discuss for YouTube. A lot of
mm.
chilling with you in South Korea,
Word,
and the
word.
story you described of getting through a PhD, and I'm like, I can't be that dry guy who knows, who knows you. I also have to come up. I can't be left behind because the
Word,
people
word.
around me are
Yeah.
growing. Was a
Word,
major,
word.
major. So person number one, I'll give you that
Word up,
title
word up.
easily.
Big ups, big ups.
Second person was I was reading a lot of Japanese philosophy and Japanese history
Mm,
and comparing it
mm,
to South African history. And the
mm.
first foreign samurai was of African origin, a guy
Oh,
called
dope, dope. Yeah, yeah.
Yasuke.
Yes,
And just
yes.
how this guy was literally defying the odds. Where at that
Mm,
time, in Japan, I'd complain a lot that it's tough
mm,
being black in Japan. I'm not European.
mm,
People won't feel me. But
mm,
Yasuke
mm.
didn't let any of that stop him. He came as a slave and made his way to
Mm,
samurai. And this thing
mm.
of not complaining about what life gives you, but
Right,
use it
right,
to
right.
elevate. Your situation
Exactly,
doesn't
exactly.
determine where you're going to end up.
Exactly, yeah.
And that his particular story really put the fire in me. That yeah, and
Mm.
Chadwick Boseman actually played Yasuke, I think, in
Dope,
the
dope,
biopic.
dope.
So I mean, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, but
Yeah, yeah. Rest
um,
in peace.
Yasuke's story was really inspiring to any African person. Like
That's super dope. Yeah.
knowing that the first foreign samurai was of African origin is like being African is something to be proud of. It's
Right.
that you can really accomplish something, and just
Yeah.
African people's talent. And I used to see it as a stereotype, like, oh, you think because I'm black I have to be good at physical things. dance and basketball.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the
Yeah.
wrong attitude to have. Being African, you have an incredible physical advantage for certain
Mm.
things. So it's so important to eat healthy and take care of your body. And just with
Mm.
the African Black community worldwide, the Pan African community, we have to eat healthy and treat ourselves well, because we can really do some amazing things,
For real. Yeah.
mind and body. So I'll say,
For real. For
um,
real.
so Yasker's story was really incredible. The third
Mm.
person who really inspired me at that time, um, we came across an African person. He had been living in Japan about 20 years,
Mm.
and the guy had like learned the language, and he had some really tough times. He came as a refugee,
Mm.
and he would
Mm.
run from the cops, because the cops are always on you. If you're black in Japan, cops are always on you.
Damn.
And this guy's
Yeah. Yeah.
just story of just utter survival, of no matter what
Mm.
life gave him, he made it work. He really
Mm.
inspired me that I was quite privileged to have even gone to Asia, and not to waste a chance like that with the photography, with
For
anything.
real. For real.
Everything in life
Yeah.
is a gift. So I'd say those three people
For real.
really made me, even, I was never like a top Japanese student, but I think I just
Mm.
had staying power about, oh, I'd always just stay, I'd always just be in there. When other
Right.
people would give up and try something else, I'd always be like, nah, I can't stop here. I have to keep it going.
Yeah. I think we have a type of persistence. Yeah.
Mm,
I'm not sure where it comes from, but
yeah,
yeah, it's
life, eh?
definitely there.
So I'd say
It's
those.
definitely there.
Also, I think I'd grown up a lot, even in terms of dating.
Mm.
I was very fortunate to date someone who was very, very high value. And this thing of
Mm.
having to play mind games and wonder, is she here? Is she doing this? She was so
Right. Right.
supportive and trusting
Right.
that
Right.
changed
Right.
my outlook on a lot of things. And it made
Yeah.
me also just like man up and be like, actually, I don't have to be going to nightclubs and whatnot. If I focus on
Right.
my projects, that's
Yeah.
where that's something that'll get me somewhere in life. And I gave up
Mm-mm.
clubbing, and I just went all the way into
Mm.
my art form, and I was so happy. I like, for the longest time,
So dope.
you would even feel guilty to be happy. Like, is it going to be taken away? I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know. I always
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
something. Being down is what
Yeah.
feels normal. I have to sort of
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
sad
Yeah.
about something, and
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
just be there and be like, no, I'm happy with what I have right now, and not
That's
feel like
so
I should be
true.
dating a
Yeah.
supermodel. No, I'm like legit
Mm.
happy where I'm at right now. So
Mm.
that
Mm.
was
Mm.
also super inspiring, that I didn't need to be a millionaire to feel like a millionaire.
For real. Yeah.
Yeah,
For real. There's actually no correlation between being a millionaire and like
yeah.
being happy. I think it sounds like there's a correlation,
Mm,
but there actually isn't. And this might be a topic for another time.
mm,
But I've been going like quite deep into meditation
mm,
and studying different types of like concentration. And the type of meditation I'm working on right now, it works on 8 stages of concentration,
mm,
and the first stage is kind of focused on like actually no, this the second stage is focused on just happiness
mm, mm.
and how happiness naturally arises within you once you let go of any cravings.
Wow.
And it's so funny because
Mm,
like meditation allows you to like look deeply into your mind. And what do our minds do? We mostly craving something all the time, right?
mm,
Chasing one thing, planning one thing, planning one thing, planning one thing. But when you meditate, you basically turning away from like craving, right?
mm.
And just because you're turning away from everything, happiness arises within you. And this isn't like normal happiness. This is like explosive
Mm,
happiness.
mm.
And it's
Wow.
already within you. It's inside you. It's not connected to any like external circumstance. It's already like inside there.
Wow.
Like it's so powerful. Like to experience and to realize that,
Mm.
that's like a game changer. Like nothing external can give happiness. Literally nothing. Like
It
yeah.
has to be internally finding
Mm.
inner peace,
For real,
healing
for
from all
real.
those scars, and giving up
For
on a lot
real.
of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
toxic
yeah.
things you do. Mm.
For real, for real. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm.
So time skip again.
Okay.
2020, the year.
Yes, sir.
2020. And I think we've
Yeah.
already had such an amazing recap. We started at the millennium and now we're at a year.
Yeah.
Please tell me the start of your 2020. Where were you? What was life looking
Okay.
like? Yeah.
2020, I'll say is I was working at a university
Mm,
as a researcher and
mm.
quite a good position.
In the UK.
Yeah, in the UK,
Mm,
but it was too demanding, too stressful. A lot of the circumstances around the work environment just weren't aligning very well with me.
mm,
So I decided to kind of quit that. And also, I'd had quite a few injuries that were recovering very well. I was
mm,
pushing a lot of physio
mm.
training, getting strong again. So my plan was to get back onto my dance career, like 100%. And things were progressing like extremely well. Like I was training like an athlete for the
Wow.
first time in my life, not partying. I was doing 2 sessions every day, one cardio session, eating healthy, proper
Mm,
training session, physio session, stretching
mm.
session, like going deep, deep, deep. And I was seeing the growth like instantly. Like what you put in is what you get out. Like that's all there is to it. And I felt like quite positive that I might be able to like do something really big or like go far this time. And then I had like a knee injury. It was actually a horrific injury.
Ouch.
And the context around the injury was also quite horrific because I was doing a lot of physio, I was doing a lot of injury prevention. I was making sure I'm like more aware and more conscious during my training so I don't get injured. And even with all that, I got injured. I just did
Ouch.
a flip. The grass was a little bit wet, and my knee twisted in like a ridiculously
Oh
insane
my
way
goodness.
that no knee should ever twist. Like it was like a movie scene,
Oh man.
like like joints getting mangled. Like that's how bad it was. But the funny thing is, in that moment, I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel stressed. Like I actually kind of laughed because
Oh, wow.
there was something deeply insightful about it. Like no matter how much effort you put, you can't be attached to like expectations of outcomes.
Mm,
You can only
mm,
put your effort. But once you're attached to like expectations of outcomes, that's gonna be the root of your suffering. And looking back retrospectively, I realized like over so many years of my life, I just had a lot of like struggle and feeling bad
mm,
because I'm injured. I want to be
mm.
doing this. I want to be doing that. I want to be there. I want to be there. I want to be there. In that moment when I injured my knee, I knew straight away like I didn't have to feel bad. And it was actually funny. It sounds crazy, but it was actually like, okay, it is what it is. Like, yeah. And I went to the hospital and they did like a scan, whatever, whatever. It swelled up like crazy. And that same evening, I got back home. My knee
Mm.
was hurting like crazy. And I still like practiced like standing dance. I just did what I could do.
Okay, let's start me.
Yeah. And in that moment, I realized like I'm always going to do what I can do.
Mm,
And I don't have to be attached to the outcome. And then since then, I've been pushing a lot of music, like just grinding, 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 grinding. So I'd say mainly because I got injured, I got to focus a bit more on the music. And that seems to have paid off a little bit because
mm,
the collabo project I did with my rapper friend, Gal the
mm.
Arsonist, it got released by a Canadian record label. So that's kind of promising. That's relatively dope, like for the stage I'm in the music world. So I'd say 2020 has actually been probably the best year of my life, to be honest,
Real. That's incredible.
for real. And the
Wow.
main reason is the only reason is because I realized that I don't have to suffer
Yeah.
and I don't have to struggle.
Wow.
Like that's all it is. It's like a switch in the mind. Like,
Mm, mm,
do I want to struggle? Do I want to suffer? No, because it's a choice. It's literally
mm.
a choice. Like, yeah. And I'm choosing not to. So it's like life is always good.
Deep life philosophy. Wow.
For real, bro. For real. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So the start of 2020,
Mm.
I was fortunate to move to Cape Town,
Right, right.
Cape Town, South Africa. I had a job,
Mm.
and new freedom, new knowledge.
Mm.
Things were all right. I had the craziest simping story that I simped a bit too hard. I fell into the simp trap a bit too hard,
Mm.
and I was just like, what just happened, man? Something's off.
Oh,
What just happened? And
oh,
it I was thinking about it and just replaying it in my mind of
mm,
how I fell into such a simp trap.
mm,
But I'll probably have to even go into further detail for another YouTube video. But otherwise, the year was going
mm,
well. And
mm,
then the lockdown first happened as the pandemic was being announced. And I was like, oh no,
mm.
it's like everything around me started shaking. Something
Right,
was at
right,
play.
right.
And then when
Yeah.
April hit and the country I was in went into lockdown and this thing of social
Mm,
distancing and isolation, I
mm,
really went deep, deep, deep into my thoughts and the type of input I was going into life coaching and philosophy and just thinking
mm,
about how
mm,
did my life get to this point, which is
mm.
even kind of tied into why we're doing a recap of the last 20 years
Yeah.
and really become clear of like my patterns of behavior and separate
Mm.
myself from low value behavior and go towards high value
Right,
behavior. Stop having low
right.
value friends who are always messing you
Mm,
over, always a disagreement, and keep your high value friends
mm.
who you're growing with and launching projects. And as somebody who's been
Right,
listening to
right.
your music, the swamp seasons, and the
Yeah,
new
yeah.
stuff now, and seeing how
Mm,
people are growing and getting better, and seeing how
mm.
a lot of things in life, success and happiness, has got more to do with your behavior than your circumstances.
Exactly, yeah.
And as you mentioned, this thing of having a strong life philosophy was,
Yeah.
if people take away anything from seeing this video, this is the meat of everything. A
For real
strong life
facts.
philosophy, whether you lose all your moves, lose all your money, lose your honeys, you the life philosophy is the most important thing that I
Right,
think you
right,
can
right,
have in life. And whether you get it from
right.
religion or meditation or journaling or
For
whatever it
real.
may be, I think,
Yeah.
especially as a man these days, I
Mm,
think 2020, if I had to give it a title, it would be the year of life philosophy of
mm,
just
mm, mm.
where am I trying to go and how am I going to get there? And really
Right, right.
direct all of that.
How would you say you delved into that, like personally? Is it a lot of reading or just
I had
introspection,
hit a wall.
reflecting?
I had hit a wall
Mm,
as I was getting older. I'm like, hey, I'm the age, whatever age I may be right now. And I was like, I'm not
mm,
married. The relationships I'm getting into are these dead end
mm,
relationships. I'm meeting honeys where I'm just simping and I'm just
mm,
feeling used.
mm,
And I was at a habit in South Korea. I used to buy a lot of shoes.
mm.
Then in Cape Town, I was looking around my room and I'm like, man, there are a lot of shoes here. I seem to be a guy who buys a lot of shoes. And like, I
It
like to
just
buy
hit you.
shoes and all, but I've seen the external things aren't what to focus on. This thing is where you need to get solid, get that solid. Be happy. Don't need
Right, right,
validation from external things.
right, right,
And
right,
almost tying back to Club Phantom and seeing
right.
this young man just dominate and take over. He did it just with his mind and his mental fortitude and his confidence. And I was like, that's what I needed all along. That's what I must use to dominate. That's the tool I must sharpen. And I'll say 2020 was the year of doing that. Because if you're in social
Mm, mm.
distancing and you're alone, no one cares that you're wearing Jordan 1s or whatever.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Mm,
So, oh, sorry, is that my
mm, mm.
internet connection or
I'm not
saying my
sure. Is it
internet
clear now?
connection is unstable? Yeah, so I think it's mine.
Mm,
I'm not sure what yours is.
okay, mine seems fine. Yeah.
All right.
And
So,
what would
yeah,
you say is your what would you say is your outlook for, like, just looking forward 2021? What are
um,
some of the main things you want to keep in mind?
staying healthy,
Mm,
trying to, this thing of eating healthy is now my new massive goal. Get my vegetables,
mm,
my spinach,
mm,
my
mm,
get my nutrition, not even diet, but nutrition that protects the body,
mm,
protects it from injury, lets it
mm,
operate at full efficiency.
mm, mm,
Foods, even the music I listen to now, I've
mm.
kind of, not to turn into a preacher, but I've seen putting garbage in, garbage comes
Yeah,
out,
yeah, yeah.
and
Literally,
really
yeah.
put quality music. And YouTube has helped a lot, which is one of the reasons I even like making YouTube content now. Now I
mm,
can decide. Before I had to listen to
mm,
what was available, what was on the music channels. Now it's
mm,
like type in the exact artist, whatever I'm feeling,
mm, mm, mm,
and put real quality stuff in there that I can
mm.
dance to, that I can really feel
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah,
in an amazing
yeah,
way.
yeah.
So I'll say the food,
That
the music, yeah,
yeah. That reminds me of a dope quote. There's this documentary called Jiro Dreams of Sushi,
yeah,
and it's about this Japanese like famous like world famous sushi chef, and he says to make delicious food, you must eat delicious food.
mm,
Like you need to understand like what makes delicious food, then you can make delicious food.
oh
So
wow,
like what you were saying with music,
mm,
like you consume quality content
yeah,
and you produce quality content. Like if
wow,
you're consuming garbage the whole day, like, you're gonna be producing garbage.
yeah.
Yeah. So I feel you on that. Yeah.
So now I really want to go in depth to the new project
Mm,
you're working on, 2020.
mm,
You've released it.
mm,
It's on YouTube. I'm gonna put the links
mm,
below.
mm,
You're
mm.
doing a lot of dark lo-fi
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
How? What made you want to
Um,
release this project? It's on Spotify as well.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I think it's just been a very natural movement for me.
mm,
When I started making music, I just wanted to make something that sounded good. And I
mm,
was listening to a lot of like dark gangster rap when I
mm,
started,
mm,
and I was trying to kind of do that, but I was just really struggling.
mm.
But over the
The
years,
struggle album.
that's naturally, I guess, how the styles evolved and
Mm,
developed. And also, I grew up listening to a lot of underground hip hop,
mm.
so I think that comes out a lot in like my musical
Grimy.
inclinations. Yeah, really, really
Really,
grimy,
really
like
grimy.
gangster sound,
Oh wow.
like kind of ominous sounding sort
Very
of stuff.
ominous. Wow. Wow.
And the funny thing is, like whenever people listen to it, they're like,
Mm,
"Whoa, this is so dark. This is so." But to me, in my musical brain, that sound is like synonymous with dope. And to me, it doesn't even sound dark.
mm.
So like some people listen to my music and they kind of associate or attach like very dark,
Yeah.
like
Horror
evil stuff.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like evil kind of evil vibes.
Mm.
And to me it's nothing like that. Like yeah.
Because you're
So
actually quite a
it's
positive person who does
yeah,
positive
yeah,
things.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's quite funny like seeing
Oh
like
wow.
how everyone's perception is different.
Mm.
Like yeah.
Whereas you're looking at it as
So
more of
yeah,
the crafting a feeling and an emotion.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Almost,
I
it's
think
almost like
there's
Halloween, a Halloween album. Like,
right, right,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Wow.
So I this rapper hit me up on SoundCloud, Gal the
Mm.
Arsonist,
How
and I
did you
think
meet him? Let's start there. How did you
yeah,
bump into a
he
collaboration?
just he heard my first project, Swamp Season,
Mm.
and he really liked it. He said he's really like something about it really resonates with him. And I listened to some of his work, and he had that kind of early Earl Sweatshirt kind of flow,
Mm.
and I was just really digging the vibes too.
Mm.
And his lyrics were also very like introspective. And as a person, I'm very introspective, but I don't have the time to like develop myself as a rapper, and I'm not
Mm.
gonna pour my thoughts and feelings into rap. That
PhD
just
raps
doesn't
in
it
Korean.
doesn't it doesn't sit so well with me.
Mm.
So like a lot of the stuff he'd even talk about in his lyrics would like connect with me straight away. So he said, like, yeah, let's collaborate, let's do some stuff together. And that's pretty much like how it happened. But I think stylistically we like really, really match very, very
Mm.
well. Like
Mm.
very, very
Because the
yeah.
track Limbo
Yeah.
really, set the tone of
Mm,
what
mm,
to
mm,
expect. So please tell me about
mm.
how you were crafting that track and what was your goal with
Limbo.
it. And it's got the video.
Um yeah. Limbo was one of the last ones that I made the beat for.
Okay.
And I was kind of I wasn't like so excited about it actually,
Mm.
but like how I approached it, he said, "Yo, let's do a collabo project," and I just started making beats every day
Mm.
for about a month
Wow.
towards this project, and eventually I felt like, okay, I think there's enough like decent beats. Then I went
Mm.
over them,
Mm.
and I kind of built on the vibes that were there already.
Oh, you make like
The
100
limbo
beats and then
one,
he'll pick which one he wants to rap on.
I sent him like 10, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then the limbo one, it just kind of had a bit of like a groovy feel.
Mm.
Like the drums felt kind of like syncopated. It just I don't know how to describe it.
Okay, you
It
gotta
just
listen to
felt
it.
quite natural. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And then like when he rapped on it, it just fit like perfectly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we linked up to shoot a music video, and this was
During the lockdown,
one day before the national lockdown.
so it like
So we
had to
literally
happen.
made it just in time, just in
Oh
time.
my goodness.
And that was our first time meeting up in person. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that was pretty dope. We spent maybe like 3 hours
Mm.
in an empty parking lot and just like a whole bunch of shots.
Guy running around in a
It's pretty
gas
dope.
mask, but it's normal
Yeah.
because of the pandemic. So it's like, yeah, do it.
Yeah. And God the arsonist is
Mm.
only like he's only like 17 years old. Like
Wow.
so talented. So talented.
17 and the man is
Yeah.
already making moves.
He not only raps, he also produces, mixes, masters, engineers. Like, yo,
What a character.
it's crazy, crazy,
It
crazy.
was, I think, really the album for 2020, made
Yeah,
fully um, social distance, the people I hadn't even met, done through the internet. And
yeah,
I think that's the future we're really headed to. That's just how
yeah,
it's going
yeah,
to be
yeah,
from now on.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
You
Well,
could
who
almost call
knows
it the
with vaccines
soundtrack
and
for
all
this
that?
year. It's so sad
Hey,
it
yeah,
has to be
yeah,
so
yeah.
dark and rough, but that's the soundtrack for this year, pretty
That'll
much.
be dope. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So you released it on Spotify, and you've also now got a dedicated channel
Yes, yes,
for your beats. Is that the
yes.
main way you're planning to distribute more of your projects in future?
I have multiple avenues, and also I'm working on multiple styles. I
Okay.
think with the YouTube for now, I want to focus on the dark lo-fi niche area, and that's an area I'm very comfortable in.
Mm.
And if people like that type of music, I'm very happy to keep making that and keep putting out like regular content. That's something I can maintain relatively easily. Like I can put out at least one new track every week,
Oh,
at
wow.
least
Is that how you prefer to work with
consistently.
collaborators? If a rapper wants to work with you, they can hit you up and you can tailor them tailor them something nice,
At the
dark and
moment,
grimy.
at the moment, I like SoundCloud. But later on, I'm gonna set up a BeatStars account, and BeatStars is mainly for selling beats.
Mm.
But I think ultimately, I'd rather work directly with people, like talk to them, what sort of vibe are they into, and tailor something specific
Right, so people can hit
towards a
you up
project they
on
have in mind.
Instagram, SoundCloud. I'll put
Yeah,
all
yeah,
those
yeah.
links below. So
Word up, word
I
up.
think
Appreciate
definitely
it. Appreciate
people
it.
are going to need music and healthy
Yeah.
foods to get them through
Mm,
this upcoming time.
mm.
Because now I just watched the news. There are new strains of this pandemic in the UK and SA.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
the way the world has changed now, strong life philosophy, the connection to music, and just the
Right,
projects we work on are the only thing that are going to get us through.
right, right, right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So your on look for the future. What is your next plan? As
Look.
2021 is just literally around the corner.
Um,
What things do you predict next? OnlyFans
for
music?
myself or
Yeah, for yourself. I wanna
for
collab with an
myself,
OnlyFans artist.
I have no idea in terms of music.
Mm,
I try not to like think about it or try not to project too much into the future.
mm.
Like my mode of operation, I'm just going 1000% every day.
Go hard.
Like that's all I care about.
Get down, grind. You'll be
And
okay.
whatever comes out of it comes out of it. Like I'm
Mm.
ready for it.
Oh
I'm
snap.
ready for whatever. Like yeah, collaborations, maybe collaborations with some big artists, some big rappers
Who
in
would be your
different
dream rapper
countries.
to get on a track? Like,
Um, 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 dream. I wouldn't say I have a dream per
okay,
se. Earl Sweatshirt would be cool.
would be ideal. And he's
Z
South African.
Loopers.
Oh snap.
Yeah, yeah. Z Loopers, just because he's so weird and out there,
His track
and on
Jay-Z
his
was pretty
own.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just so in his own direction. I really
Mm.
respect that. Like, yeah,
Who
yeah,
knows, eh? I think every artist needs to just be dropping content right now. The world needs it, like
yeah,
more than ever.
yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Mm, mm,
So what is
mm.
your YouTube strategy going forward? Because now I
My
think is
YouTube
definitely the
strategy.
time for YouTube.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I've fully articulated a strategy yet.
Okay.
Um, my focus so far has just been making sure I have like a consistent, clean
Mm.
aesthetic,
Mm.
um, and connect to the dark lo-fi niche area. And the previous release with God the Arsonist, that's already connected because it was through the record label,
Oh,
and
nice.
they have a big following. So I'm trying to get some of their audience
Mm.
into my audience.
No, inshallah, it will come.
Yeah,
It will come.
for sure,
So,
for sure. What about for you? How's
I'm definitely
2021
looking
looking?
to improve my breaking and the
Mm,
exercises I use
mm, mm,
to do it. I'm also looking to document some of the most important lessons I've learned through breaking, almost a 20-year span,
mm,
and really just concentrate it into some of the most important things I think a dancer needs. And
mm,
the fact that dance is now going to the Olympics,
mm,
and just that rumbling that's going
mm,
on is also going to be something really, really massive. And just if I can give something
mm.
positive to maybe younger versions of myself who are just
Yeah,
starting the journey,
definitely,
and
definitely.
just
Yeah,
let them know some of the pitfalls to watch
definitely,
out for.
definitely.
And who knows what
Mm.
word they'll be using, even just 5 years from now. Now, simp is the word.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
And thanks everyone for tuning in. Stay safe out there. Stay on your grind and try to maintain a positive mindset. Remember, you always have a choice, like in every situation that life presents you.
100%. Thanks to all the listeners. If you made it to the end, more amazing projects on the way. Stay wise, stay safe, stay healthy. 2021 is right around the corner. So, yeah, let's keep it going.